Welcome back to Soapy.
Maurice Bernard.
Maurice Bernard. I mean, I love him. I worked with him and got to know him a little bit, not super well, but he's always been really honest and forthright.
Yeah.
And did that disarm you? Was that surprising?
I don't know if it was surprising, but it was so welcoming. You know, it made it so easy to. I think in the vein of like a John McCook or an Eric Braeden, if you don't know them, and I don't know Maurice well, we've met. He can be an intimidating figure, but he's so disarming in his willingness to be vulnerable and to go there and to talk about the hard things. And that was really, really something.
To me, when I think of him, I think of General Hospital. Like to me, he's just been sort of an icon on that show to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he is the central character of the show.
Sure,
so, I mean, it's just nice to hear about like how supportive the show has been through his whole mental health issues and stuff
talking
like that.
about the ways in which his co-stars have shown up and been there when he needed help. Yeah.
I'm sure no one would help you.
Did you not sit through that Deidre Hall interview? She would do anything for me.
By the way, I am convinced that Deidre Hall would do anything for you.
Well, guess what? I would do anything for her.
Nice.
I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. I can't say it, but I would. I would do anything for you, Becky.
So tell me, we've been asking a lot of people, have you ever wanted to direct or write or do anything else on the show?
I don't think writing is my wheelhouse. I have a friend who is a writer-director, and a couple of years ago, he was looking for IP. That's intellectual property, Becky Jo. And there was a book, and he grew up on Staten Island like I did, and there's this great book called Small Mercies. And I said, hey, there's this great book, and you should read this, and if you're looking for a project, see if you can get the rights to this. We ended up getting the rights together, and we were looking for a writer, and finally he said, what if we just wrote it together? And it was during the pandemic, and there was downtime.
Yeah.
And it was a fun experience, and he had done it before, and he sort of guided me through. But, and you learn from every experience you have, but my learning experience there was that's not my lane.
It's hard.
It's hard. I see Rob all the time sitting down in front of the empty screen, and he has to get the story going. We get it and we have to interpret, but we have a roadmap. We have something to work off of.
Yeah.
So I don't think writing is something I would want to pursue.
What about directing?
I'm interested in directing. They always say great directors.
Actors make great directors.
Well, and vice versa. They say, it's really, I think, behooves a director to take an acting class and to really understand actors.
For sure.
And I do think if you have, again, doing this as long as we have, having the knowledge of what goes on in front of the camera, I think it does give you a shorthand for what might need to happen behind the camera. Not to say I would know what to do, but I would absolutely be interested in it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I wrote a short film, and I never would have done it. I worked with Michael Easton, who's a writer. Like he's a real writer. He went to school for it. He writes. And he said, he was like, you can do this. I will help you. He sort of mentored me. But it was hard. Yeah. It was really, really hard. And also because I think when you're writing a script, I don't know, it's probably different than writing a book, right? But you have to, I didn't have like a director's vision for what it would look like. And he was going to direct it, so he did. And so it was really interesting to where he would say this, editing and stuff and why.
Right.
But what I've discovered is that I like writing. I liked it, but it's hard.
Remind me, did you co-write that with him or he just kind of mentored you?
I wrote and he edited like he was I would send it to him and he would edit and maybe add a couple things, but he directed it.
Cool. And having seen some of your acting work, have you thought about stopping acting and doing something else?
I have.
Don't ever, Becky Jo.
I would have been a veterinarian, but I say that, but the truth is I don't think I would have been a veterinarian.
Remember that pilot you did where you played a veterinarian?
Yes, and that's how I got my dog, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like my dream job. Acting like being a vet
And
in a
playing
show.
a vet, yeah.
You know what? That's what I want to do. I want to get a job where I'm a vet on a show. And maybe Dr. Taylor Hayes can become Dr. Taylor Hayes, the vet.
See? I think we're onto something.
Well, she was an oncologist, and now she's a psychiatrist, so she could just become a veterinarian.
Let's get Brad on the show.
Why
We
not?
can pitch him some ideas.
Come on, Brad. Make her a vet. Anyway, I realized that I didn't necessarily want to write for film, but then I will say I got to B&B and found out that a couple of the actors who, of course, who we are having on our show, I'm very excited, they write for the show. And I thought, I think if someone gave me a guide,
right,
like this is what I want you to write, I'm better at that.
I get that.
Because
you have a roadmap.
Because when he would guide me, Michael would guide me, I'd be like, oh, okay. And then I'd have ideas and I would write. But to just look at a blank piece of paper and go,
I think I'm intimidated by the structure of it all. One of my favorite things to do with Rob is if he's breaking a story, he'll say, oh, I was thinking this character might do A, B, or C. And I'll say, oh, and what if, I love to pitch ideas. And I think that I'm pretty good at. But as far as like the structure of a script, that is something that, I don't even want to say overwhelms me, it just doesn't interest me. So,
you just want to be in front of the camera.
Just in front of the camera, yeah.
What about directing? I know directing, I just feel like that's just too much pressure.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd be okay at it.
I disagree. No, you probably would be quite good. You'd be great at it. Yeah, I hate to say it, but you would.
Because I'm organized?
Because you're organized and you're very type A, and you're type A, but you're also like a collaborative person, and you would, I think, take kindly to
I'm not
suggestions.
Precious.
Yeah.
I'm only precious when it comes to you, Greg.
Oh, Becky Jo.
Well, anyway, I'm really excited.
Me too.
Because today we're going to talk to Heather Tom and Lawrence St. Victor about The Bold and Beautiful, writing, acting, and in Heather's case, directing.
My gosh.
Which is just insane.
Beyond. But before we get started,
yeah,
do you have your wallet out? Because you're about to lose $5. I have some trivia for you.
Of course you do.
Okay, let's see.
I'm so curious as to what it's going to be today.
Okay. When did the role of breakdown writer really come into existence on soaps?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
I am.
When we come back, you'll have the answer, and we will have Heather Tom and Lawrence St. Victor. Be right back. Welcome back. Okay, Greg. All right. When did the role of the breakdown writer really come into existence?
Okay, so the expansion of soaps from half an hour to an hour cemented the role of the breakdown writer on soaps. Before then, most head writers wrote their own breakdowns and dialogue writers wrote the scripts.
Very interesting.
Do you remember that back from the radio days?
Never fails. It never fails to make me laugh. Makes me so mad. Okay. Well, our next guest can really walk us through the process of creating a script as well as acting on a soap opera. Heather Tom made her daytime debut as Victoria Newman on The Young and the Restless, and then she went to One Life to Live as Kelly Kramer, and then she came back to the CBS family on The Bold and the Beautiful as Katie Logan. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be here.
Well, we also have Lawrence St. Victor, who got his daytime start on Guiding Light, playing the role of Remy Boudreau. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
He currently plays Carter Walton on The Bold and Beautiful. Heather and Victor write for the series as well, and Heather directs. Incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy. But you've been directing for a really long time, am I right?
Yeah, I've been directing for a while. I kind of looked because I was unsure, but I've been directing for like probably longer than 6 or 7 years, something like that.
And how did that happen?
I really had a passion to do it. I really wanted to do it. And so I went to Brad and I asked if I could shadow. And then Cindy Pop, who is, our directing producer, basically, she said, yeah, you can follow me around. And I did for like 6 months. I followed her around. And she was so open and generous with her knowledge and her time. And eventually she was like, well, you're not going to learn anything until you sit in the chair. Like, you've learned everything, now you have to sit in the chair. And so we went to Brad and asked if I could get segments. And like, there was never any guarantee, but
were you nervous?
Yeah, I still get nervous.
Because I would imagine, because it's so soaps are fast anyway. But
Yeah.
and it all goes so fast anyway. So there's just so much pressure.
Oh yeah, no. It's like I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like I lit myself on fire. Like I go home and I'm just like, oh yeah. I still feel that way.
Drive home. I would sit in a chair and be like, I can't move.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it is, and I do have to say, because I then moved on to directing nighttime television. After directing daytime, I was like, I can do anything.
Right.
You know, because we're also doing so many jobs. You know, we're our own DP in that we set up the shots and we call the shots. And so it's like when you go on a nighttime show, they have all these people that do all those jobs. And so it's, you know, but at the same time, you can look at a script and go like, okay, I know I need this shot, I need this size. And it makes you extremely efficient.
Do you like that? Would you like to do more primetime directing?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to direct in all forms. So So
and
I'll go where the work is.
Yeah, you're a worker bee. It is truly fascinating and overwhelming. I'm like day 2 of being a hyphenate, technically, where I have a second job, and it is so much work. It's great and it's rewarding, but kudos to you both. So I'm curious, who was writing for the show first out of the two of you?
I think I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did that get started for you?
It's a long story.
We've got plenty of time.
That's okay. We've got. I'm actually so curious. I've seen your work. I've seen your. I remember seeing your name on a script and going, "Lawrence wrote this? Wait a minute, he's a writer too. That's so cool. Like I just think that's so cool."
Yeah.
It is.
How long had you been on the show?
I think I was on the show for like. Well, the story begins in my first meeting with Brad. Right, I came out to LA for a producer session for Young and the Restless. It went well, but didn't go my way. But I got to meet with Brad. We started talking about stories and stuff. And he was like, "You watch our show?" I'm like, "Yeah, I grew up on your show. Lauren and Sheila, I watched Y&R." He was like, "Really?" And so we just getting into the story and stuff. And when I was on Guiding Light, one of my co-stars, Carla Mosley, who's now on Beyond the Gates, we love working together. So when Guiding Light ended, we said, let's do a web series. So when I sat with Brad, he's like, "I saw your web series." I'm like, "You did?" Because it was like 2 years old at that point. But he really liked the writing in it. So we were just talking about stories. So when I joined the show, every now and then we just
did you write the web series? Or did Carla co-write?
We both wrote it together, the web series. So when I joined the show, Brad and I would still just kind of sit down and just talk about writing and stories and just real casual. And then somewhere in the show, he decided to make my character an aspiring actor. And Carla's character, who now she was on Bold and the Beautiful, was also an aspiring actress. So we did a
You were an aspiring actor?
That's why I'm going, wait, whoa. Carter?
Remember?
Who's
remember
the financial?
I don't remember that.
So it was like, I had to say, it was 2 years in, and Carter and Maya auditioned for a web series called Roommate.
That I do remember.
That? Yeah. And Roommate was very similar to what Carla and I made called Wedlocked. And then Brad was really having a good time with it. And he said, "What if we made it for real for CBS.com? So he's like, "Would you like to write that?" I was like, "Yeah." So
how did I not know any of this?
Oh my gosh.
So Carla and I, we wrote 8 episodes of Room 8 that aired on CBS.com.
Wow.
We came to the studio on a dark day and they built all original sets.
Oh my gosh.
And we were part of the casting process. They cast people who weren't on Bold.
Oh my God.
And we had like a whole, Jen Howard directed the episodes.
What?
And we shot 8 webisodes in one day.
Oh my God.
Aired on CBS.com. Casey was in the booth. So that kind of like opened the door, and we, over the years kept talking about writing. And Brad one day was like, "You want to try writing like one of the episodes?" And I said, yes. I was very terrified. And I wrote some sample scripts, and then I started writing episodes, I think in 2014, but off and on, like one, and then a year go by, maybe another one. Then I say in 2021.
So it's been a long time you've been writing for the show.
Yeah, but it didn't become consistent till I would say 2021. Is where it became like back to back to back.
Well, how does that work? Do you have to like get into the Writers Guild and do all that stuff too?
Yeah, well, because of the web series, Roommate, that made us a must join for the WGA.
Oh, right.
So I joined because of that. But yeah, that's how, it's a long way.
And was that ever like an aspiration of yours, like to write?
on Guiding Light, when we switched formats from being in the studio to getting real handheld,
Right.
I got a chance to see how production was really built. Because, you know, now when you're in a booth, unless you go back there and you see it, you don't really understand it. But we were shooting Guiding Light like an independent film, so I got to really see all the hands-on, including the writers. And that got me really interested in the process. I would sit with some of the writers and ask them questions, the directors questions. So when it ended, I really wanted to write, produce, direct the whole nine. So, yeah.
So are you going to follow the directing footsteps here?
I know.
They're big shoes to fill, man.
Have you ever had that desire?
Yeah, I've shadowed Cindy a little bit, and then my storyline picked up, and then I was still writing. I'm like, there's no time.
You're in the middle of a story all the time.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of words.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be like Heather, but it takes time.
How much time do you have when you get? Are you writing? Are you getting a breakdown and then writing the script?
Yeah.
So how much time do you have from getting the breakdown to when you have to turn in your script?
About a week.
About a week, but sometimes it varies. Sometimes it could be
shorter than
a little
that.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather, how did you get started writing? I mean, we asked you about directing, but like,
yeah, I mean, I've wanted to write since I started the show. And
have you always wanted to write?
Yes, and I write outside of the show. I'm like, you know, we're gonna throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks, kind of girl. And I am a worker bee. Like everyone who knows me knows that like going to work is my favorite thing to do. So gosh, how did we get to start on writing? I was kind of, you know, going in and talking to Brad and just kind of like, you know, just kind of talking, not really like they're not even talking about my story, but talking about just like the show in general and what, you know, I was kind of doing outside of it. And Brad has always been so extremely supportive of like anything I wanted to do. He's never said no, you know? And so it's like, and that's just, I mean, that's
it's
just rare.
He's kind of, he is really
he is a gem. Yeah, there's nothing like that. And to get those opportunities, it's just, I don't even know what I did to deserve it. But same thing. We were talking and he's like, well, do you want to do a spec script? So I did a spec script. And, I feel like, and you probably feel this way too, is that I know the language of daytime because I've been doing it for so long. And I feel like I know the language of Bold and Beautiful and you know, can hear the characters and that sort of thing. So I love it. I like backing myself into a corner, though.
How do you mean?
Under pressure?
I basically, I procrastinate so much that I'm like, I have 2 days to write this script. Yeah. But I feel like it makes me get out of my own way and I don't overthink it. And it's just like, I better just get this on the page.
Also, there's an adrenaline rush that comes with the pressure of like a deadline.
Yeah.
And I work well that way too. I'll get my scripts a week in advance and I'll look at them, but I won't really commit until the night before, which is what I did when I was in school.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. And I'm trying to teach my son not to do that because
I feel like however you get to the finish line, you know, but
it's stressful.
What do you do when you're heavy in story and you've got your scripts that you have to, with the lines you have to memorize and the script to write? Like, is it just time management?
There have been days where
and have your kid, by the way, and juggling that too.
Yeah, there was literally a day a couple weeks ago that I had a script due, I was directing, and I was also in the other show that they were directing, that they were doing that day. And I was just like, I'm in heaven. So when the other director... Is this the Women's
Day episode?
No.
Okay, we're going to talk about that
different one. So when the other director, who was Jen, was directing, I was sitting like in the sound booth writing the script. And then I'd jump up, go do my scenes, and then go back and sit in the chair and direct. So it was a little nuts. Casey, but I won't say no. So if they offer me something, I'm not going to say no, ever.
You're gonna be on camera, behind camera 4.
How do you manage it?
It's a lot, but it's not like you're doing this show and another show. You're just fully immersed in this story. So one helps the other, you know?
Yeah.
You don't sleep much. That kind of goes away. And you just get it done. It's a privilege, so you're not going to not take the script.
Yeah. How many do you see? Oh, wait, sorry.
Does it ever?
How many?
Does it ever?
Oh my God.
You did that up.
That last one was on purpose. Go ahead.
How many scripts are you doing now a week? Or like, how many are you getting a month, I say?
I mean, it varies.
Lately, we've been in
I've gotten, which is great.
Yeah.
What does rotation mean? One
so
script
like,
a week?
because we're the newbies, so we do have our writers who've been here for a long
Yes,
time, and they're
yes.
in the rotation. So
Right.
we'll usually get sprinkled in if there's a space, but lately we've been sprinkled in. So I think
lot.
this is, I want to say my fifth week in a row.
Yeah, me too.
Of writing without a break. Yeah.
So what I was going to ask was, does knowing what's happening 5 weeks ahead ever influence what you're playing 5 weeks back?
There were some deep breaths, by the way, from both of you.
Yeah, I don't know that it does so much, just simply because I feel like, our show moves at a pace where we have a certain amount of repetition, and so it doesn't necessarily change all that much. Right. And so I think that the challenge that we have as actors and as a writer and as directors too is to find a different way to say, the same thing. And I mean, the fact is that that's built into our genre, and we are not the only show who does that. And by the way, nighttime shows do it as well. They just are only on once a week, and so it's not as noticeable, I suppose. But every show kind of has to be like, just remember this, remember this. Yes. So it's it's built into our genre, and it's something that we all have to deal with no matter what show we're on.
That's not even the hardest part for me. Cause I'm so used to speaking in a way that we don't speak in real life, where saying your names more often than I would, and repeating things that we said or did the day before.
Yeah, Greg.
Looking at me like that.
Yeah, Greg. No, I know, it's true. You do say someone's name quite a lot. So I know there's a lot of repetition, but there are times where you do have to write a script where things happen, and it's not for how many weeks? I don't know. How many weeks ahead are you?
We're like 3 or 4 weeks ahead. We're not that far ahead.
What is it like when you find something out about a character and you have to go to work and see that person and be like, oh, I can't
I don't know anything.
What's going to happen?
Well, they come to us anyway.
They come to us anyway.
They assume we know everything. Like we're in Brad's head. We're like, we don't know anything. We're only a couple weeks ahead. But it's nice knowing when someone's getting something that's really cool that they don't know yet.
Yeah, and I think that's also, I think what we try to do is that we know the actors too, and so it's like, well, let's write something. Like, I want to write words that I would like to say. Yeah. And so, but we don't have really any input on what's going to happen. I mean, sometimes we, can talk to Brad or whatever, but it's really, truly his show. And really from beginning to end. And also, it's his prerogative to change his mind about where a story goes. Yeah. So we might think a story is going one way. That actually happened recently. Mm-hmm. And so, you might think a story is going one way, and then suddenly it's like, oh, no, we're doing something else. So
we touched on it a little bit, but we got to talk about your female-driven episode.
Yeah, we do.
Which, I have to say, these shows have been around for a very long time. It's not often that we get to break ground, right? And I think when something is done that hasn't been done before, it's exciting. And I would love to hear you talk about your experience of writing, directing, and acting in that episode. I'm sorry you had to share screen time with this one, but also what
I didn't share screen time, but I was in it. She did have to direct me.
She did a lovely job.
I know she did. I watched it. But what was can you talk about the genesis of that?
The genesis of it is that it's my 35th year on daytime, and Brad was like, I want to do this. I want you to write, direct, and act in a show. And I'm like, all right, I'll play your funny game. Let's do it. Because you
don't say no.
No, I don't say no. And so I was like, well, let's figure out logistically how we can do this. It's never been done on daytime. It's only been done twice on any television platform. And that is something about our genre, by the way, that I think we do break ground a lot.
Yeah, I think we do too.
Before, others, I don't know that we necessarily get credit, but, we are innovative.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, we talked about the show. We talked about whether we wanted it to be kind of a standalone show or whether we wanted to fit it into story. And we, ultimately he decided to say, let's fit this into the story, which I was happy with. I didn't want this to be like a flashback show, And so yeah, I wrote it. I got a little extra time to write it. And then
did you still cram?
I did. I can't. It's I was just like, all right, you really want to give me this? That's fine. I'm not going to do it.
2 days left. I really got to do that big episode.
I know. And I was kind of nervous because I was like, I knew that it was going to be under a magnifying glass.
Yes.
So and mostly, acting in it was very schizophrenic because when you are directing, you're on set, you give the blocking, you talk to the actors, and you go into the booth and you snap all of your shots. So it's very hard to do when you're on stage. And the scenes that I was in were extremely emotional scenes. And I was just like, I want to make sure that Annika and Kelly feel like they can just go for it and let it fly and not have to worry about like the technicalities getting in the way and like, oh God forbid we have to go back and like redo it again off of some kind of, technical issue. And so I had a monitor on stage so I could see the shots and make sure that we were all kind of on the same marks and that the cameras were, had the sizing right. So I had a monitor there. We rehearsed it. We rehearsed it a couple of times because there was a lot of action and a lot of emotion. Yeah. And I it was very, it was a little schizophrenic because I would be in there and I'd be like, okay, we need to do that again because I want this to be like, let's go. And, just all of the ladies were so game that I felt really supported. And now I'm gonna bawl. Don't worry, I cry for a living, so it doesn't matter.
You know what? There's tissues.
We've all cried, so it's your turn.
Yeah, we've all cried. I've cried. He's cried. Yeah.
Yeah, and it went off without a hitch. It really did. Like it was a very smooth day. We made our day. It's just like it was a really. I was very prepared, and everyone else was so incredibly supportive that we pulled it off.
Is that your incredible. Proudest moment?
One of them, yeah. I mean, for sure. I just, I feel like this genre has given me so much. And oh boy, whew.
You should have seen me earlier, honey. You should have seen me earlier.
Well, the problem is if I even think about crying, I'm like, cry me a river Barbie. I can't not do it.
That is what happened to me.
And so, I just feel like it's been my home for most of my life, and it's given me the life I have. And then to be able to do this thing that was just, it hasn't been done before, and to have Brad just give me that opportunity. I was just really, really grateful.
We had tissues here, folks. They're right there. We had them, I kept them right here, just in case.
Yeah, toss them in. Because it's like a therapy session.
Oh,
I'm just like, I don't have to pay you.
I cried yesterday and today. And I feel really lucky. That's the beauty of soaps, I think, because it's really, we have a family because you're doing it year round within that community. But then also you get to be with your family. You get to work and not have to travel. And there's something
It is the best gig in the world.
It's just amazing. And actually, since both of you are on two different sides of the camera, how do you feel when people in the industry say, it's just a soap? How do you feel when people in the industry say, it's just a soap, and they try and minimize it?
Yeah, I feel like that happened a lot more years ago.
I agree.
And because it definitely had a stigma.
Yes.
And what I will say about doing a show in New York is that was not as prevalent in New York.
No.
Because when you were in New York, it was just like, if you had a gig, good on you.
Yeah.
Yes, and we had Broadway people. And people would come on from Broadway and be like, this is great. Yeah. They just would do it. All the time we had Broadway actors. Yeah.
And when I was in New York, I was never not doing a play. They did the same thing where I'd go downtown and do a play at night. And it just I feel like the stigma was not there as much as it was here. Yeah. And I don't feel like it's as stigmatized here anymore. But there's still people are like, oh, we love soap actors because they're so prepared and they know their lines. Oh, they love soap directors because they are so efficient and they know.
I'm an actor.
Yeah,
I'm a director.
But but we might not hire you.
Yeah.
So it is something to deal with, when you're
How do you
in a
feel,
meeting.
Lauren?
I agree. I think it's a weird thing when you can be on a show for decades and then you audition for something else, but you're not given the same amount of respect like you've been on TV leading a show for years.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're starting from square one, but you have so many years in the game. When Guiding Light ended in 2009, I just thought I didn't think I was going to hit the ground running, but I felt like the credit would have gotten me a little further.
Right.
But it felt like I was starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And which was cool. That's the name of the game. But it was one of those things where it's like some of the most talented, charming, magnetic actors I get to work with, and you treat them all like they've just started.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, and like you said, it's starting to change a little bit.
It is.
Now
I
to
hate
have a
it
job
when
is
people
just
say,
great.
"Oh, that's a great training ground." I'm
I
just
hate
like,
that.
There's a
I hate that too.
I don't know if I can
Hey.
swear. But
Like
I
we're
won't
not
swear.
we're not
go ahead.
training.
Fucking swear.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like,
the
we're not
only thing,
training.
I think the thing that's not training, but like it is like improv. You got to go in, you do it, you leave, you come in, you do it again. There's no like
You gotta
a lot
jump
of
in with
rehearsal
both
time,
feet.
Yeah.
but it's not a training
Like,
ground.
Do you know,
they call
Margaret-
it a boot camp, but I'm like, no, boot camp prepares
Yes.
you to go to work.
Yeah.
This is work.
This
Yeah.
is work.
We come in prepared and we
Yes.
do our thing.
This is a
isn't
paying
training
job.
ground.
Exactly.
This is the job.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say about the stigma, I think the wisdom of age, right? I think the people when we were all in our 20s and we were all hustling and trying to make our way in this industry in whatever capacity that was, those of us who 20, 30 years later are still at it. It's like there's nothing but respect for anybody that can survive this town, survive
I have so
this
many
business.
friends who are like, "How can I get on a soap?" And I'm like, "You can't."
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who already have. I mean, I think it would be very hard to hire someone who doesn't have like soap experience to come in and do it the way we're doing it now.
It's the same way whenever anyone asks me, how come one actor can go from one soap to the other? I said, because they need somebody on day one who knows we're going to shoot 20 pages in an hour,
20.
in one
Yeah.
take,
Yeah.
and nail it. Because we all have that skill.
we don't have time to mess around.
I think it's why I feel certain like pride when I see an actor that was on a soap, even for like whatever period of time, and they go off and they have success. Because I'm like, see, it doesn't mean that that he was on a soap. Michael B. Jordan was my stepbrother on all my children. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did that, and now look at him. And I get like, I'm like,
When I have friends
there's
who
nothing wrong
will
with-
see like someone on a soap on guest star or have a regular on a nighttime series, I
Yeah.
look at them, I'm like, they did 5 pages in one day. They're having an easier time.
Oh, they are like, this is what?
They're like,
What?
this is
I know,
easy.
right? I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's the flashiness of doing like a show that's getting a lot of attention. Last year, Deidre Hall did an episode of Hacks, and there was publicity around that, and her experience was great, and she enjoyed it. But we are all worker bees, and we want to do 20 pages in an hour, and not do 5 pages over the course of 5 days.
No, I turn it into like a game. I'm like, okay, let's take bets.
We do take bets.
That's about how fast you
I'm
can
like,
get through.
yeah, okay,
when
can
are
we
we
do
gonna
these
get outta
6
here?
scenes in a half an hour?
Yeah,
Do you ever-
I do sometimes like.
Do you ever want to go right to tape?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I would love to. I call it
Yes.
rehearsing on tape. Let's just get it.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I liked
do
about
too.
being on a nighttime show too, or not nighttime, New York show?
Yes.
Is that, I don't know if all my children did this, but I think they did, because I did crossover and I think
Yes,
they did,
yeah.
where they would rehearse like 2 or 3 scenes in a row and then shoot them all together without
Just
stopping
break
in
them.
between to rehearse.
Yeah, yes, we did do that.
I loved that.
Have you tried to
because
do
if you
that?
had an emotional trajectory, you didn't have to like stop and start.
Yeah.
And it would never fly on our show. But I
Have you ever pitched it?
I have.
Oh.
And there was 2 times where my character had just basically like a monologue in a row. She was like giving a speech. And I said, I want to shoot this all in one. I don't want to stop to rehearse. And I have pitched it and people look at me like I'm totally insane.
I think it depends on the director. I think it depends,
And your
but-
your coworkers, right?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think the directors have an issue. I think some of our actors would have an issue.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say there's
I
some.
did
Not
like
me,
it.
girl.
Not me.
Let's
Yeah.
get write a scene for us, okay?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Wait, now who uses iPads and who uses script?
I have the biggest iPad in the world. It's hard to hide on set.
Yeah.
It's like an iPad.
Is that what you
Pro.
use on set?
Yeah.
I use iPad to direct, but I don't.
Pages?
I generally I don't
I like
have
the paper.
pages. I mean,
Use your phone.
I have my phone.
She
which
uses
is
her
a bad
phone.
idea.
I don't know
It's
how-
all- and you lose it every
I
time.
lose it every time. I have to announce
like,
where I put it. I'm like,
"Kirby,
my phone is going in the
Oh, no.
drawer because then I will lose it,
She loses
and
it every time.
I can't see anything. So if it's paper, I would be like, okay, you hold it
Oh.
over there. Maybe if I turn it like
my
this,
God,
I'll see
that's
it.
so funny.
And
What
so I
about
can
you?
enlarge it on my phone. And
For years,
maybe
for
paper.
years, I
Are
didn't
you
bring a
paper?
script to set. For
Oh, no.
years, for like
Really?
just prepared.
Well, I remember like my second day on Guiding Light, I had the script with me. And then I felt like I didn't know something and I looked at the script and it like messed me up.
Oh.
So I was like, from now on, I'm never bringing a script. And I didn't until the most recent takeover story is when I started bringing a script to set. Because I was like,
You were saying a lot.
It psyched me out. to think I didn't know it.
Wow.
But having the fake confidence that I knew it, I know it.
That's interesting.
Jeez.
Everyone got to answer, Rebecca, except me. Don't you want to know what I use?
What do you use?
I use a script. I need the tactile. I need to hold it. I need to have it in rehearsal. And then I always say, once even on the countdown, I have to look one last time at the first line. Once I have my first line, I'm good to go. Yeah. But if I can't look at that like right before we shoot, I don't know where I am.
Where do you hide it? Where's your hiding space?
Oh, just like right on the floor. Like I don't like to hide it behind a pillow or something because I'm always scared it's gonna peek out.
I love it when we go through the pillows in the sofa and find scripts that are like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I know. I have a question. So writing, since you both are writing on the show, has it brought you closer together as like friends?
I mean, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a couple newbies.
What if you were like,
now?
No, I don't like them really.
I lose my number. But there's some newbies on the writing staff now.
Yeah.
We kind of like, talk to each other and be like, okay, well, this issue I'm having right now. How have you dealt with that? And yeah, definitely.
And I think like for us, we were on the show for a while, but we never crossed paths.
Yeah, not really.
At all in stories. So
well, we kind of did for a second.
When we
did some great off-camera work.
We had a romance.
Our romance was
off camera.
Hot.
Oh, that's right. You two were together. That's right.
One of my favorite scenes ever was with you. It was our first scene together, where Katie and Carter went from like hating each other, and by the end of the episode, became friends. You got to actually see their journey and their argument come around.
Yeah, I really like that stuff too.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they started that, and I think it would have gone somewhere, and then I left to go direct.
She had to go direct.
And so it just like, it just ended.
Shame.
I know.
How long were you gone?
I was gone because I did 6 episodes of Dynasty, so I was gone for a while. And I would kind of come
awesome
back.
Romance, and then
we
you
did.
left.
It was such a good start, and then it just was like.
And was that 6 episodes back to back?
No, it wasn't 6. I would do 2 in a row, and then I would kind of come back, and Brad would let me come back, and then I'd go back and do like another 2, and
The beauty of Brad.
So
We're talking about the beauty of Brad.
Well, not just Brad, the whole family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just when we had Laura Lee on, we were talking about the importance of family that was instilled in Brad and Bill and Laura Lee, and how not just in their lives, but how that sort of permeates Bold and Beautiful and Young and Restless. And I think we're all just so lucky to be in that world.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've known Brad since I was 15.
Yeah.
And I think that.
I was just going to ask you, because you started when you were 15.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's crazy. It's bananas. So yeah, it kind of floors me because I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I first signed my first 3-year deal, I was like, 3 years. Oh my God, how am I going to be anywhere for 3 years? And then cut to 35 years later, and I'm still plugging away. But yeah, I mean, I think that Brad really values that too.
Was there ever a moment where you thought you might leave the show and try and pursue other things? Like, I guess you went out and did directing, but prior to that, when you're young and you're acting, you're like, oh, I'm only going to do the soap for a few years, and then I'm going to go out for prime time. And
yeah, absolutely. And I did audition for prime time even when I was on the show, and I did do other stuff.
Yes.
And I wanted to go to New York. So I was like, I want to go to New York. And so that when I left Young and the Restless, but you have to go to New York with a gig.
Yeah.
You do.
That's the only way to go to New York.
It is the only way.
Luckily, Frank was open to having me go there. And so that was I would say that was my huge growth experience. Because I wanted to go to conservatory, and I went out for all, when I applied to colleges, I did, and then but I couldn't wrap my head around not having a job. I just couldn't do it. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go to New York, and I'm going to put together a curriculum, and just, at night or weekends, just go, because all the teachers at those places teach outside.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I wish I knew that, because I went to the conservatory.
Yeah.
And didn't realize, I could have went to studios with all the same teachers and had the same free time and no student loans.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, you were on Guiding Light?
No, before I was in Guiding Light, I went to SUNY Purchase and I studied at that conservatory. But a lot of our teachers taught outside the conservatory. So you're at this 4-year school learning a very specific style of acting that works and then sometimes doesn't work so much. And I could have a la carted my training. And I'm already in New York. I didn't know.
What advice would you give to someone starting out and wanting to do a soap?
You have to be in class.
Yeah.
Because if you are any good, you're going to have a lot of people blowing smoke up your behind, and you are going to believe all of it. And you are going to have all kinds of bad habits. You're going to create all kinds of bad habits because people are telling you you're so great. And so you need to go to class so that you can get your ass handed to you on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And
because they'll tell you.
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
And you're
that's
getting
a bad
up
habit.
in front of people that it's scary. And so that is going to make you better. And that's also going to, make you when you go to work, you can kind of compartmentalize what people say. It's lovely that people give you that encouragement and that support, but at the same time, you're going to get stuck.
But it's also, and I agree, it's nice to hear the kudos and the attaboys, but it's coming from your family, right? It's sort of like you're going to a place where you are known and you are loved, and they're telling you did a good job. But it is a lot more vulnerable and a lot scarier to be out there. And not to say that you can't do a good job in class.
And our job is to be vulnerable, right?
Yes.
Our job is to be vulnerable and be open to the other actor and to be open, to play ball and throw the ball back. And, that's our job. So if you aren't, if you get too comfortable.
I agree. So go.
Lawrence, you talked a little bit earlier about Carla Mosley.
Yeah.
And I think the launch of Beyond the Gates is exciting, like to the entire community, right? It feels like a renaissance, if you will, of soaps.
I love it.
Yes.
It's fantastic because what's good for one is good for us all. And I'm curious, what your thoughts are on the launching of that show and just how it is historic and groundbreaking in its own.
I love it, man. I love everything about it. Michelle Valjean, she was a writer on Bold and the Beautiful, as well as General Hospital and so much more. And I love it. I was on Guiding Light when it was canceled. I was there the day, April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Oh, boy.
We were told. And then it was like a domino effect. So we got to see all of us, this beautiful genre, As World Turns, then All My Children, One Life to Live, and Beyond the Gates kind of feels like the opposite. It's like, oh, there's a resurgence now, there's interest now, and it feels really great to see so many wonderful actors who've been on other shows who now have the opportunity to be leads.
Tamara.
Yes, and be the vixens.
Yeah. I thought when that happened, especially with ABC, I just felt like it was so short-sighted and so disrespectful to what we do and to the audiences.
What about the fans?
Yeah,
I mean the fans are really loyal.
I just think that people were like, oh, we can stick anything in that time slot and people will tune in. And guess what? It was a failed experiment. And so I feel like, CBS getting behind a new show and expanding the genre and recognizing that there's, room for this type of entertainment in the afternoon, I think it's fantastic.
I think it's fantastic. I've heard people say, no one wants to be first. People are always scared to be the first one to make a bold move, but everybody wants to be second. Yeah. So I'm excited now. It's like, who else? Who's gonna have the next soap?
Yeah.
Now that we have done it, it looks incredible. The cast is spectacular. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what lies ahead.
Yeah,
I agree.
Me too. Heather, you have all the characters you played have been part of established families.
Yeah.
I mean, how lucky are you?
Oh,
Because
so lucky.
I feel lucky. I came on as Taylor Hayes. I'm like, oh, thank God she's got a family.
Yeah.
She's connected. Because when you are that one character that doesn't have an attachment.
Hello.
Me too.
Yeah, but somehow I feel like you're so attached because you're in the force to fold for some reason. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They consider you family.
Yeah.
I feel like Ridge does anyway.
Yeah.
Ridge considers Carter family. Not you. I mean, whatever. Anyway. But so how were you like?
I mean, when I first started Young and the Restless, my grandmother watched the show, so I kind of had an idea. She was a CB. People watch a network.
Yes.
I know.
And
CBS
so,
or
and like,
ABC, I know.
yeah, so she was a CBS watcher. And so I kind of knew the families, and I knew that I was going in to the Newmans. I remember my first scenes were with Eric Braeden, who I adore, but he never says the same thing twice.
Oh, yeah.
And so I felt like I was playing like double Dutch, where I was just like, all right, when do I jump in? When do I jump in?
Amazing.
And so I was like, okay, now, and he would go on a tangent sometimes, and I would be like, how do I get the scene back to where we're supposed to go? And it was so much fun. And it was high pressure, but it was so much fun. And, such a good learning experience, that really was. But when I loved being a Kramer girl.
Yeah.
I loved it. And Kelly, the Kelly character was so different from Victoria, because she was just like, I don't like the word flighty, but she was just like, all over the place and girly. And
you got to come over to All My Children?
I did. I went over to All My Children, where I was like the Amazon woman, because every woman on that show is so teeny tiny. And I went on, and I'm like in heels, and I'm towering over them. And I was just like, fee, fi, fo, fum. I felt like an Amazon. I was just like, I do not belong on this show. Get me back to One Life to Live.
My God.
Yeah, for real.
That is so funny. She told me that once, and I was dying.
I was.
And we talked about how I am the shortest individual, aside from Rachel Herman.
She's
who's
on
a
an apple
producer.
box.
I don't even know where they find those shoes that they put you in. Like, what Hollywood Boulevard?
I said they are.
Yeah.
They are this high.
They're higher.
And I should get stunt pay. But literally, like, everyone is so tall.
Yeah.
And I did a day on The Bold and Beautiful, you know this, but Susan Flannery directed me.
Oh my gosh.
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, well.
And they put me on an apple box because the girl that I was, Maitland Ward, I think was her name.
Yeah.
I think she was, yeah. And I was on this little tiny, and I'd never done anything, never did a soap.
Yeah.
I was terrified anyway, one day.
But I mean, my Logan sisters are my sisters. I mean, honestly, like, between Jen and Kelly, like, we are sisters.
Yeah.
And I think that chemistry really comes across on camera.
It does.
Like, I mean, we bicker, we're competitive with each other, but at the end of the day, we love each other so much. And, I know that they would have my back, and we're sisters.
I too am a fringe character on days, but I also feel like once you cross a threshold where I'm like, okay, I've been there long enough that I'm no longer like last guy in, first guy out kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I feel secure, but it is nice. There is nice having family ties. And I remember not being aware of the importance of that when I first started at Young and Restless. And then when they decided to make Christian and I brothers, he was very well aware of what a gift that was.
Yeah.
And was like, we are going to spend the time and do the work. And to this day, he is very much like a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have those connections.
For sure.
Who knows? Maybe, now aren't you getting married on the show? So
well, we'll see. I think
you will be a part of an established family there.
I think maybe you experience this. You never know. Oh, don't do that.
She's writing the script right now.
I've been engaged like 8 times.
She just got that breakdown,
Just
Lauren.
want somebody to love.
But I think maybe you experience this is when you're not connected to a family, it's like you have to build the relationships yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a given.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Torsten and I, we were playing with our banter, and I think that's what turned Ridge and Carter into best friends. Because without the play, like, I don't have a guaranteed brother or sister or father figure. So it all comes out in how I try to build relationships, even if the scene doesn't call for it. I did have a brother on the show, your nephew.
Yeah. I know the family tree is real
it's
twisted.
interesting.
I've been learning that, guys. I've been learning.
Don't try to figure it out.
I've been learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we try this with other guests. Some people pass.
Oh boy.
Some people are into it. Some people aren't. Let me ask the question that I want to ask first.
Okay.
If you tomorrow could do like another job, any job, what
Doesn't
would it
she
be?
have enough?
I have a lot of jobs already.
Okay, well, not actually. I know. What would you do?
Oh gosh.
Because mine would be something with animals. I always say a vet, but I could never put a dog down. So I don't know what I would
Yeah,
do. A
no,
zookeeper,
no.
I'd be a zookeeper.
I don't know. I'm certainly not qualified to do anything else.
Yeah, what am I
I mean,
qualified
like,
to do?
I guess maybe something like outside. Like, I love like hiking. So maybe like forest ranger.
You could be a forest ranger.
Forest ranger.
You know
I'll
what?
be a
Whenever I
forest
do those
ranger.
tests, it would always come back forest ranger. That's what I should be.
Really?
Yeah.
Forest. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. Okay, forest ranger. How about you, sir?
Something with kids, probably. Some type of mentor or
Teacher.
I'm not smart enough to be a teacher.
Teachers.
During COVID, I learned I would not be a good teacher. Oh, bad. I had a lot of bad mommy moments during that.
With your kids are different than other people's kids. I feel like if you're with other people's kids,
It's true.
you send them home.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd be a great teacher, but that is a very specific skill. When I see my son's teachers, I'm just like, that is a calling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a calling.
It has to be.
Yeah. My parents are teachers.
Oh.
They were called. I was not called.
And you grew up in New York?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Yeah. Rockland County.
Oh, sweet.
So like 30 minutes north of Manhattan.
My mom was a teacher.
Nice.
Oh.
Your mom was a teacher?
Yeah. Well, she's a speech therapist in schools. So yeah.
Oh, I know you just lost your mom. I'm sorry about that. I know.
Last year.
I know. Sorry. And I know that meant, the episode that you wrote meant a lot.
It did. I really wanted to weave something of her in there because I got it in there with the Logan sisters talking about their mother because their mother passed away. And so I was able to kind of like, honor her and pay homage to her.
That's really beautiful.
She would have been so proud.
She would have been.
Aw.
She's a very strong, determined woman.
That's
so
so
and now I'm
sweet.
going to cry again.
I know. It's so sweet.
And she made a strong, determined woman.
Yeah, she
Thank
really
you.
did. What's the soapiest thing that's ever happened in your real life?
Okay.
Dangerous question.
So this wasn't. I don't know how soapy this is, but it was a fan experience that I thought it might be worth telling. So I was in I was in a mall, and these two people came up to me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Victoria!" This is when I was young. They was like, "Victoria, we watch you every day through our television set." And I thought they were being kind of metaphorical, right? And I was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." And they were like, "Do you see us through your television set?" And I was like,
Yes, I do.
well, I don't watch that much TV. Like, maybe I missed you. So, yeah. And then I also had another fan who came up one time and was like, "I just love you on Bold and Beautiful. Like, but you need to really get rid of your sister," because she was sleeping with my husband at the time. She's like, "I'm going through this thing in real life where, like, my husband can't stop sleeping with my sister." And I was like, oh.
Would you like a selfie?
I'm doing something so relatable. Yeah. So I'm not sure that that's like a soapy moment, but it was definitely.
Wait, but when I was
that's a good fan moment.
Yeah.
When I was 5, I thought that if I took a hammer to the TV, that I could be in Romper Room, because they'd be like, "I see Heather and Vincent and Rebecca," and I really thought that I could just break into the TV, and so I kind of get where they were coming from. I thought that maybe that you saw them.
Were they children?
No,
Okay.
they were adults. Poor Greg.
Lawrence, what about you?
100% adults.
Poor
yeah,
Greg.
and I was like, I didn't quite know. I was like, no, I don't watch them. It's TV.
All right, Lawrence.
What about Lawrence?
I don't know if this qualifies. I was on a blind date once when I was like 22, and we were walking through the mall just talking as a first date, and we started talking about family, and names started sounding familiar, and I'm like, wait, Jamie? Yeah, that's my cousin. I'm like, that's my cousin. So I was on a blind date with my cousin.
Oh my God.
That's good. That's a
so
good
We
one.
were like,
Yeah.
I liked you,
No,
but
no.
that is so soapy.
I think there was a natural like no chemistry because of
That is
No,
so
if
funny.
it was a
I think,
real soap,
honestly,
you would have gotten
you'd
married.
be like,
If it was a
how
real
many,
soap, we
like,
would've-
how many, you
How
know,
far
how far away are
removed?
you?
Oh, yeah,
How far-
right,
yeah,
right.
How far removed are you? Yeah.
Okay, and then King and Queen of Soaps.
Oh.
Tough one, right?
Well, okay. So I would say, you know, Eric Braeden and Melody Thomas Scott. But
Excellent
this is the
answers.
thing about our genre that I really love. We are a matriarchal genre. Like, our shows are led by women.
Yeah.
And, you know, so when you think of all of the shows, you think of the female lead on that show as being the icon. You know, the Susan Lucci's and Deidre Halls and Jeannie Cooper's and Kelly, you know, Catherine Kelly Lay, like Susan Flannery when she was on our show. So you think of women on our show.
Actually.
And so you know, we like to honor our men, but you know, we really have to crown our women.
So the women are the. Yeah,
What do you
makes
think?
sense.
That's rough, man. It's like you're gonna get me in trouble.
No.
Owning.
You know what? You can pass.
Are we talking characters? Or are we talking just in
Whatever you
soap?
want.
Whatever you want.
Well, Bill and Lee.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
well,
great
sure.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't go
I
wrong
probably
there.
should have led with that.
There's no writing. I know. No one wants to answer it because everyone feels like they're offending someone. And so it's just a silly
No, but
question.
but part of what's great about that answer is literally we wouldn't be sitting
A lot
here.
of us wouldn't be sitting
None of
here
us
if
would
they
be
weren't-
here if
yeah,
it
yeah.
were not for Bill
Yeah.
and Lee.
I would say Agnes Nixon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, Matrix.
Yeah.
You all are amazing to come.
is so
and
fun.
Sit and
Thank
chat
you
with
so
us.
much. This was
Thank you.
fantastic.
Will you guys come back and
Much.
Thanks.
Okay.
Will you come back and see us again?
Absolutely,
course.
100%.
When you're directing and you're, I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know. There's only so many
Producing.
hours in the day, but I will say yes.
Producing.
Yeah,
That's your next.
producing.
That's your next
Yeah.
step. Producing. All right.